Wait. I know he always asks me tough questions, and he always has an edge to them, but I like him anyway. So go ahead and ask the question.
Well, how about that? A president of the United States being gracious with a reporter, especially one that he might not agree with.
You think within 3 weeks or so we'll be at the point where there are 1 million vaccines per day, but it seems like...
No, I think we'll get there before that. I said, I misspoke. I hope we'll be able to increase as we go on till we get to the 1.5 million a day. That's my hope.
And then the follow-up to that would be, now that you're president and you're saying there's nothing we can do to change the trajectory of the pandemic in the next several months, what happened to 2 months ago when you were talking declaratively about I am going to shut down the virus?
Well, I'm going to shut down the virus, but I never said I'd do it in 2 months. I said it took a long time to get here. It's going to take a long time to beat it. And so we have millions of people out there who have the virus.
The reporter in that exchange is Peter Doocy. He is the son of Fox and Friends host Steve Doocy. Hello, everybody. I'm David Schuster, and thanks for joining us. Earlier in my career, I had the privilege of covering the White House from the press briefing room for 2 different broadcast news organizations, and I have to confess, it is personally and professionally refreshing to see a president of the United States hold a news conference, face tough adversarial questions, and not freak out or spaz out at reporters. Unfortunately, insults and abrasiveness had become the new norms during the Trump administration.
I'll tell you what, CNN should be ashamed of itself having you working for them. You are a rude, terrible person. You shouldn't be working for CNN. Hear
what
me?
Did you want?
Did you hear me?
Yes,
Ask
sir.
him a question.
I will, but
I've given you a long answer. Ask this gentleman a question. Don't be rude.
What do you say to Americans who are watching you right now who are scared?
I say that you're a terrible reporter. That's what I say.
Don't talk to me that way. You're just a lightweight. Don't talk to me that way. I'm the president of the United States. Don't ever talk to the president that way.
It says,
So do you acknowledge that you didn't think
keep your voice down, please.
Spread?
Keep your voice down. She's shocked that I picked her.
No.
She's like in a state of shock.
I'm not thinking, Mr.
That's
President.
okay. I know you're not thinking. You never do.
I'm sorry?
No, go ahead.
It is important for the press to hold a president accountable. It's also important for the president to respect the Constitution and the First Amendment freedoms of the press. That means you don't lash out or wage war on the press or the media when you get a question you don't like. There's also a strategic and political component to this as well. When Joe Biden is courteous and polite to Peter Doocy, even after Doocy has taken an earlier Biden statement out of context, it increases the chances that Doocy will be objective and fair in his reporting about Joe Biden or his questioning of Biden in the future. It might also take a Fox News story that might ordinarily be 80% negative, 20% positive about Joe Biden and make it 75-25 or 65-35. That is a victory for a White House dealing with an adversarial news organization. And by the way, whether you're the President of the United States or anybody else, when you are calm and professional and firm, you win over people who are not sure whether to believe you or to believe the people who are taking shots at you. We saw that with Joe Biden and Peter Doocy at the end of a White House signing ceremony.
Thank you.
Mr. President, what you talked to Vladimir Putin about?
You.
Boom. Confident, calm, witty, and presidential.
President Biden, when he was a candidate, said there will not be another foot of wall constructed in my administration.
Yeah.
So what changed?
We are not finishing the wall.
What is the plan?
We are not finishing a wall. We are cleaning up the mess that the prior administration made. We are trying to save lives. This is what the prior administration left behind that we are now cleaning up.
By finishing the wall, is this?
We are not finishing the wall.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here. And did you happen to go to grade school with that one really obnoxious kid? Somebody who would raise and flap their stupid arm around to get in an irrelevant opinion or completely incorrect answer to every single question, every single time? You had to bite your tongue and roll your eyes and sit through their stupidity when everyone could have mercifully gone on with their lives peacefully and without the burden of pesky insanity?
By finishing?
We are not finishing the wall.
By filling in, Is this racist?
Well, that's exactly what every person in the room feels who suffers the company of Fox's own Peter Doocy. This guy is a partisan hack if there ever was one. He comes in with a laundry list of stupid, totally false, right-wing talking points to push at every opportunity, ramming square pegs into round holes obnoxiously in otherwise intelligent conversation, because that's Peter Doocy's MO.
I'm just having a hard time understanding how this is any different.
I'm not even sure how you get to your first question, to this question that you just asked me. I will say this: a border wall. I'm answering your question. A border wall is ineffective use of taxpayer dollars. So it's ineffective of taxpayer dollars that actually went to the military, that the last administration, the prior president, took from the military, which took away from schools, which took away from military bases. That's what that money that he pulled away from to build this wall that he wanted, that is ineffective, by the way, which I just said. Just recently, CBP reported that new bollard fencing along the southwest border was breached 3,272 times between fiscal year of 2019 and 2021, requiring $2.6 million in repairs. It's ineffective. We are not finishing a wall. We are cleaning up the mess that the last administration made. Okay.
And when this jackaloon opens his mouth, everybody's hands come flying to their face in an epic facepalm and instant Tylenol moment. Why any competent adult should have to endure amusing Doocy's asinine quips is a tragedy indeed, but such is the current state of American politics. If you've got enough money, you can be a player at the table no matter how ridiculous your arguments are. And while Fox News and the Republican political machine are completely absent on many things, such as facts, one thing they are never short on is money. And so Fox News gets their airtime. They get to move the political conversation to the extreme and the absurd. And we all have to endure the idiotic, annoying gnat that is Peter Doocy. He gets to ask his stupid little questions because it's all part of the propaganda scheme the big money of the far right is strategically pushing. Fortunately, we've had some press secretaries take on Doocy and school him as the half-wit twit that he is, most famously Jen Psaki. Now that obligation falls to the new White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, and she did a heck of a job putting Doocy in his place in this clip. Folks, this is the challenge we've got to figure out how to overcome in our politics. It should never be about who gets the most airtime, who shouts the loudest, or who plays theatrics and creates the biggest scene. It should be about who has the best argument, who has analyzed the facts most thoroughly and proposed the most rational solution. But thanks to Fox News, facts and rationality only get half the airtime anymore at the most. The far right has acknowledged that facts and reason will never be on their side, and they found a way to circumvent that truth. Put on a show, whine, cry, throw a fit, get angry, get emotional, put on a scene. It's no different of a strategy than that of pre-adolescent children, but with the power of their money, they make it work. The right banks on manipulating people through their primal vices, fear, anger, and rage. Just look at how Trump got hordes of MAGA maniacs to siege the Capitol of their very own government in an attack against their very own democracy, to win a victory for a fascist dictator under the premise of an idiotic, baseless lie. The right banks on manipulating people through their primal vices, fear, anger, and rage. Just look at how Trump got hordes of MAGA maniacs to siege the Capitol of their very own government in an attack against their very own democracy, to win a victory for a fascist dictator under the premise of an idiotic, baseless lie. That's their strategy, because it must be their strategy. It's the only pathway. Peter Doocy is never going to raise his stupid little arm and respond with a sound argument, because one does not exist. Doocy is never going to respond with honesty, intellectual coherence, or even basic facts. Peter Doocy will work within the bounds of what he is given: lowbrow, primal lies, cons, and manipulations. We can all just hope that one day people will wise up to those facts. One day they will look at this annoying pest, Doocy, and see the sham that he represents, and simply come out and say, "We won't waste our time with your stupidity or your lies any longer. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way."